Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Haley Estes here at the Mountain View Cottage, and today I'm going to be doing a day in the life of our homeschool day. I debated doing this video today because it is not typically a normal homeschool day for us. It is 1:01 as I'm recording this video, and we typically start school at 9 o'clock, if not earlier. But despite the fact that we're starting several hours late after lunch, I'm going to keep moving forward with the video and show you what it looks like when we homeschool, regardless of whether our day doesn't start out the way that we had planned or not. It wasn't a bad morning by any means. We just had appointments, and that happens, and that's just kind of the beauty of homeschooling, is that you get to be flexible. And so today we're being flexible. Just because we're starting late doesn't mean we can't have a really productive and wonderful homeschool day. And I hope that this maybe encourages you that when your day doesn't start out exactly the way that you planned, or things get off schedule because of appointments or other things happening, that it gives you the encouragement to just press forward anyway, because sometimes these days end up being really amazing homeschool days. And if I had just given up altogether because we're so many hours behind, we wouldn't have gotten anywhere. And so we're gonna start our day with some silent reading for about 15 minutes, and then we're gonna go through our group subjects. I'm gonna show you what that looks like all the way until we do our independent work. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. It's my first kind of day in the life homeschooling video. So if you wanna see more videos like this, just leave a comment in the bottom of this video telling me that you wanna see more. All right, let's get to it. First up, I'm just in our homeschool closet grabbing all of the books that I need to do our homeschooling for the day. This is for all of our group subjects first. I converted our closet under the stairs to our homeschooling storage space by installing these 3 bookshelves this summer. I will go more into depth about these bookshelves and how I've organized everything in another video, but it's been so helpful and one of my favorite things I've done this year. The first official thing we do every time we start our homeschool day is we do silent reading together. Everyone gets to choose their own book. Nothing is assigned. I even join in with the kids, and this has become one of my favorite tools to starting our homeschool day because it really just calms everyone down and gets them in the mindset to start learning. And it has been so helpful for my kids who struggle with learning to be able to pick books that they love and enjoy and read them and gain that independence of silent reading on their own. And I really just love this part of our homeschool, and I would never ever change it. I also love that I get a little bit of time to read too for enjoyment, which doesn't happen in my busy schedule most of the time. So scheduling it as part of our homeschool day has been wonderful. Next up, we do our scripture study together. We are reading the New Testament this year and following our Come Follow Me schedule with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and this has been really great. So basically the way that we do it is the chapters that are assigned reading for the week, we go around and everyone takes turns reading 5 to 10 verses each, and this is kind of how we get our read aloud learning practice in. But prior to reading, we do start with a prayer. So we are going to pray really quick, and then we will start our scripture study.
We by him help it. There is not in every man that knowledge, for some with conscience. Ye sin against Christ. Wherefore it make my brother to offend. I will eat no flesh while the world standeth.
Everyone put your scriptures and your reading books away, and then we'll do Treehouse Nature Study. Next up, we do our World Watch News. We have subscribed to this channel, and so we watch it on the app on our TV. And it's a really great Christian-based news station that keeps a pretty unbiased opinion of things happening in the world and is appropriate for children. It's something we started last year and truly love. And once we're done with our scripture study, that's the first thing we dive into. I also find that if I switch around where I'm sitting, I don't get bored or sleepy during homeschooling. Sometimes I can struggle with fatigue, and so this is one of the things that helps me, just kind of swapping around where I'm sitting. So I'm now sitting in a desk chair, and I will do the next portion of school in this chair.
If you're going to build a powerhouse, you're going to need a lot of bricks. In this case, BRICS, as in the group of 5 nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. It's an economic alliance.
Next, we're going to dive into our Tree House Nature Study Summer. This is kind of what we do for our morning basket. It includes a song, which we're going to sing next. It includes a poem, a read-aloud book that we will just watch on YouTube, as well as a picture study, a hand rhyme, and usually there's beautiful art as well. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. Now we're gonna do Drifting by Lenore Hetrick. Drifting down a sleepy stream in a red canoe, underneath the water green, up above the blue. For pleasure and for quiet fun, what better could you do? Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Treehouse Nature Study, it was something we added last year, and it's become one of our favorite parts of our homeschooling journey, and I highly recommend this nature study course. We love birds, so we just study one bird a day in the Backyard Bible Watchers book, and it is just a really easy way to learn about birds in our area and in the United States. So this is also part of our morning basket time. We are been on Birds of Prey. And today, we get to learn about the red-tailed hawk.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Are stocky with short fan-shaped tails and broad wings. In most populations, adults display the red tails for which they are known. But there is a dark morph which lacks it, and pale morph for which only the tips of the tail feathers are red. That concludes our group subjects for our morning basket, and now we're going to do the group subjects for literature, history, science, art, etc. We always start with literature, and currently we are reading The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. We read The Hobbit last year. It was one of our favorite books to read aloud together, and this has been no exception. So I always start off by asking what we read last time so that they can re-jog their memories, and then I do not stick to trying to read a full chapter since these are really long chapters. I just read until I can sense that the room is done. Land sprinkled with tall trees, outliers, and approaching woods. I can hear a pony or a horse coming along the road behind, said Sam. They looked back, but the turn of the road prevented them from seeing far. I wonder if Gandalf is coming after us, said Frodo. But even as he said it, he had a feeling that it was not so, and sudden desire to hide from view of the rider came over him. For science and history, we head over to the kitchen table. Once again, a little bit of change of scenery, and it gets us moving around a little bit and not falling asleep on the couch. And we are currently doing the Human Body and Anatomy course by The Good and the Beautiful. So my kids have their own notebooks that go along with this. I bought them some coloring books that are human anatomy and child appropriate, and we just do one lesson 3 days a week. So imagine that you are blowing air into a balloon. When you blow into the balloon, you force tiny air particles from your lungs into the balloon, which then bounce around the inside walls of the balloon and create enough air pressure to force the balloon to grow larger and inflate. What happens when you release the balloon?
All the air comes out.
It does. And the balloon deflates, right? The air that you blew into your balloon came from your lungs, which are a very important part of your respiratory system. So what's part of your respiratory system?
Your lungs?
Your lungs, yeah.
How long can you hold your breath? For most people, it's less than a minute. Breathing is an integral but usually unnoticed part of your day. You may not even realize that you breathe in and out more than 20,000 times every day.
Next, we're going to dive into history. This is a Wednesday, and every Wednesday we do American history, so I'm just reading aloud from our history book. I will link all the books that we're using and the curriculum that we're using in the caption of this video, so that if you're interested in it, you can see it below. But I just read a chapter or as much of a chapter as I can manage to keep everyone's attention for, and then I have my kids just kind of regurgitate back to me what they learned so I know that they're paying attention and understanding what we're learning about in history. The last thing that we do together as a group is a read aloud that correlates with our history. We're learning about the Renaissance and medieval era, so we are going to be reading this book, and I just read a chapter or as much of a chapter as I can keep my kids' attention for. And then after this, we will break and have lunch, and then we'll come back and we will do our individual subjects. Dead and bad passed away, and our own days of light bad not yet come. There lay a great black gulf in human history, a gulf of ignorance, of superstition, of cruelty, and of wickedness. That time we call the Dark Middle Ages. That's what we're learning about this year. So this is a book that's set in the Dark Middle Ages. The very last thing we do for the day for homeschooling is I check everybody's individual work. So our group subjects are not broken down by age or by grade level. We do them all together, hence the reason they're called group subjects. But my kids all have their own independent English language arts, reading, writing, and math, as well as handwriting that they do. So I will go through and I will mark all of it complete, or I will check to make sure that problems have been solved correctly, and if they need help with anything, I will do that with them at that time. This is when I do all of my kindergartners work with him because he cannot do it independently, and my third grader still needs quite a bit of help as well, but I just sit down at the table and I date the pages that they did and that I've checked so that I know where we're at every time I sit down. And that is how we end our school day. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and just getting a glimpse into what a homeschool day looks like for our family. It's pretty laid back, but we do get a lot done in one day. This usually takes us about 2 hours to get through, and then individual work can take about 2 hours for me to complete as well. So our school day is about 4 hours long, so not as long as traditional school. And of course, those times vary. Sometimes we spend longer on certain subjects and dive deeper into certain topics and go down little rabbit holes, and that's just kind of the beauty and the benefit of homeschooling. So thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos. I upload every Thursday. You can just do it how you do it. Oh yeah, just do division. You don't need to learn it 5 different ways. Do it one way, and if you know how to do it that way, that's good for me. Oh, okay. So just do all of that, okay?
Hi, how are you? Yeah, I think it's on, but I didn't realize I only had to do one paragraph and then another and keep doing each paragraph each lesson. I did the entire essay not knowing.